Hi everyone, it's Shannon. Happy Tuesday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am so grateful to be here with you this week. Wow, it's been a crazy couple weeks, not only in the world, but with my health. And it's good to be back in action. So I'm going to invite a few people here. If you're here, please say hello. If you are catching the replay, please type in the comments #replay so I know that you came by to share the love. Hey, Christine, I got your message. No worries. Glad you're getting things taken care of. Oh, hey everyone, it's Shannon. So happy to be here today. We've got an interesting time happening both in the world and in people's brains and minds and changing relationships and businesses. And we're just going to gather today. We're going to gather to talk today, and we're going to gather to be in community and be in love and be in support. So thank you for being here. If you're here, please say hello. Hey Lou, thanks for being here. All right, everyone. So if you're catching this replay off of Facebook, you should join us in one of the best Facebook groups in the entire world of Facebook land. We gather, we're called Marketing and Selling for Thought Leaders on Facebook. I am M. Shannon Hernandez. I am the joyful marketing strategist for experienced coaches and consultants. I help people build businesses that thrive through all kinds of things. That's what we're going to talk about today. I help people get back to joy in their life and in their marketing strategy and in their selling strategy. And I am the founder of the Confident Expert Program. This is the flagship program that teaches coaches and consultants around the world how to market and sell by being exactly who they are. How refreshing is that? You do not have to change who you are or how you show up in the world to be successful in your business. So welcome everyone, welcome to today. Just going to give a couple of announcements for the group. We have an amazing workshop happening next week. It is called the Confident Marketing Workshop. All right, and you're going to want to grab your seat and register. You can do that at mshannonhernandez.com/confidentmarketingws. This is our week-long workshop in this Facebook group where I teach you how to market and sell with confidence. We get extreme clarity on your offer. We get extreme clarity on magnetic title and the results of your offer, and we get extreme clarity on who your audience is and how you can best show up and serve them. And if people need anything right now, they need leadership. They need your thought leadership, and they need you showing up and serving them to your fullest potential that you can. All right, so please grab your seat. If you already have registered, let me know in the comments. Shannon Evans, could you drop the link? It's mshannonhernandez.com/confidentmarketingws. That is where people can grab their seat. We are going to show up in service and love next week. We are going to do the things that we already do amazing in this community, which is help each other shine. And we are going to just rock it out. All right. So welcome, everyone. I did bring my tissues. I'm a little emotional today. So if you're prone to crying, you might want to grab some tissues if you cry when other people cry. And guess what? It's okay. We're human, right? We're 120% human, and humans have emotions. Leaders have emotions. The more that we can express our emotions, I think the better off we can all be. So welcome everyone. Hey, Helena. Okay, if you are here, okay, let me know in the comments. I have had a hellacious couple weeks outside of whatever's going on with the virus, which honestly, I have not been able to catch up too much because my body's been fighting for living. And I'm just really grateful to be here. Really grateful to be here today. And I want to talk to you all today, not just about the buzz of Corona proofing your business, all right, but building a business that's going to support you through a surgery or through a surgery that goes bad and you find yourself back in the hospital, or a business now. My reality is a business where I can still show up and do the things that I want to do that bring me joy with a catheter, right? These are the things that I want to talk about. This is not just about Corona proofing your business. This is about building a business model that is going to serve you and serve your people through life's transitions. And if you did not catch the live before I went into the hospital, the last Facebook training in this group, it's in the unit section. It was about life's transitions. How is your business supporting you when we have these transitions, right? When we have deaths, or when we have births, or when we have vacations, like all transitions don't have to be transitions. And I just spent a beautiful hour with the students in the Confident Expert program, and I'm just gonna give them a shout out. They are fucking rocking it out. The wins that they reported in for the past 2 weeks since we last met were so overwhelmingly amazing. And I thought, we're doing something right here. We are doing something right. We are building leaders, and we are building people that we are helping people, coaches and consultants, build businesses that totally support themselves, because many of them now are homeschooling. Many of them now are, their schedules have been altered, right? So the virus is affecting all of us on many levels. But this broadcast and this training today just isn't about the virus, right? This broadcast and this training is about you getting your shit together and building a business that is going to support you through everything that the world throws your way. All right, and so we're going to talk about that today. All right, we're going to talk about that today. So I've been asked for quite a few weeks now if I would share my business evolution story. And I am going to share that. And I'm going to share the many iterations I've gone through in this business and what I've learned from each, because these are called pivots, right? And you may be thinking through right now, wow, is this a time that I need to pivot in my business? Is there something bigger calling me? Is there something that's more joyful I need to be moving into? Is there something more important that's been under the surface that is now ready to surface and come out? And so we're going to spend some time talking about that today. We're also going to spend some time talking about Profit First, which is the business model that I teach. Hey, Dana, I'm here. I am a fighter. I fought for my life that last week, and yeah, I'm here. So thank you. Thank you so much for the love. Profit First, and how that is going to save me in this time of not just coronavirus, but I've got some serious healing to do. I've got some stuff I need to put on hold, and I've got some stuff I just brought on some new clients. I need to work with them. This is real shit, all right? And so we're gonna talk about Profit First, and we're gonna talk about, if you're not running Profit First in your business, why the hell not? All right, so we're gonna talk about that today. And the other thing that I really want to focus on today is getting as many people registered for this free workshop next week, because we are coming together next week in community, and we are coming together to work on your magnetic offer, to work on your messaging, to work on your confident expert bio, to work on your thought leadership and what you can be doing right now to be leading the way and stepping into more of a leadership role with your content and with your unique positioning. All right, and we're going to talk about this, and I've made a pivot for next week's workshop in the content based on things that came to me as I laid on that hospital bed, and things that I want to share with people about what is really important when you get down to building a business. What is super important, right? And the super important things are the things that most people avoid: the selling, the marketing, right? The revenue generating activities. And they focus on all the other stuff that isn't bringing them income, all right, and isn't bringing them joy. And so we're going to work next week in a workshop, and we're going to come together, and we're going to figure this shit out together, all right? Because I think if anything, the last week of me being really sick and this virus that has, taken over, we all need to get back to doing what matters. And we all need to get back to doing what matters more, right? And your business may matter to you, but it doesn't need to consume you. And I have been a proponent of building joyful, aligned businesses for years, and this is why you are seeing it today. You are seeing this. All right. This is why I am leading the way with joyful marketing. This is why I'm showing up for my community and for myself and for my integrity and for my values of why do we show up and do what we do? You best be aligned with joy. All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for all the well wishes. All right. So you guys will see me just kind of, I can't sit in the same position for so long. All right. So if you'll bear with me, got to make some adjustments every now and then. All right. So how do you get registered for the workshop? mshannonhernandez.com/confidentmarketingws. mshannonhernandez.com/confidentmarketingws. It's a week-long workshop in this group, and we are going to come together next week, and we are going to do it, and we are going to figure stuff out, and we are going to help each other, and we are going to love each other, and those things will never change in this community as long as I'm the leader of it, because that's what I stand for. All right. If you're registered, let me know in the comments. All right, everyone, I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen, and I want to talk about how to proof your business. All right. And, we can call it Corona proof. We can call it surgery proof. We can call it life transition proof. I don't give a shit what you call it. But, I am so grateful today on March 17th that these things are in place in my business, because I'm not operating at full capacity. And I know many of you are not either, because you now are homeschooling. You now are, working remotely and trying to figure out, whoa, how do I work from home? You are now really thinking about things on a different level, okay? So there's a few things that I want to talk about here. Go ahead and write these down on your paper. The first is team. All right, building a sustainable business. Team. All right, the second is profit first. Profit first planning. We're going to talk about that. The third is your business model. All right, your business model. The fourth is revenue streams. And the fifth is doing what brings you joy. All right, doing what brings you joy. Thank you everyone for joining. It's so good to see so many of you here today on my kind of welcome back. All right, for those of you that don't know, I'll give you a quick recap. I went into the hospital for what should have been a pretty standard procedure. I had a partial hysterectomy, and then my kidneys went into renal failure the next week, and so I don't wish that on anyone. I do not wish that on anyone. I've been back to the hospital a couple times, but hopefully, like as Janetta told me this morning, I've been 24 hours out of a hospital and I've eaten a few times, so we're celebrating. All right, I do have a catheter, but I have an appointment Friday at 9 a.m. with my doctor to hopefully take it out. And if not, you know what? I'll deal with the catheter until my bladder can like work itself out, my body can figure it out, right? So thank you everyone for all the love the last couple of weeks. It's been a rough go. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about in proofing your business, all right, is team. Now, I have what I would consider a pretty big team. I've added on team over the years. The very first person I started with was an accountant because I ain't doing that shit. It's not joyful. That's something we live by in this community. In fact, if you want to type it in the comments, it's a mantra. If it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit. I was not going to spend my time going through numbers, trying to figure out, you know, accounting, blah, blah. Like accountant was the first person I brought onto my team. The second person I brought onto this team was a virtual assistant who could help me with the tech side, because guess what? That doesn't bring me joy either. They needed to schedule MailChimp. They needed to schedule campaigns. They needed to make sure autoresponders worked. Like, I'm not doing that, all right? It's not joyful for me. So that was the second addition to this team. The third addition to the team was somebody early on to help me build my website. My tech person, Lou, who is here with us today, he actually takes care of the website and maintains things now that it's built. So those were my first three people. And if you guys can really think, like, the finances is really important in your business, and you should not be doing those unless, I don't know, you're an accountant, but guess what? Accountants need accountants and tax strategists. So I would just suggest everyone make a migration and go find someone to do all your bookkeeping and your accounting for you, okay? A virtual assistant, they vary, right, in skills and strengths and abilities. And I have had lots of virtual assistants. I used to run a virtual assistant internship on the back end of my brand, and it was so much fun. I worked with lots of virtual assistants. I used to be in a community of virtual assistants as their content coach. All right, that was in another lifetime. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they wanted to work with me, and so I built an internship. So I have lots of resources for great virtual assistants who understand marketing and understand content and understand how important it is to us, especially thought leaders in this community of what we're trying to build in our own communities. So a virtual assistant, even at 10 hours a month, can take what would take you 50, 60, 70, 80 hours in that month, pay them for 10 hours and let the experts do the job. Here's the premise. My entire program, the Confident Expert program, is built around this idea that we are going to stay experts at what we're at, and we're going to hire experts to do the rest, because we don't need to come out of our zone of genius. That's where we're drained, okay? So team is really important. Those would be the first three hires. I can tell you I have cried in my team's boxer so many times in the last 10 or 12 days in gratitude, because they have kept everything moving. They have kept all the projects going forward. They have been making decisions. They have been pulling together and figuring out what needs to be happening. They have been doing the work. And guess what? It's one, it showed me how amazing they are. Two, which we already knew, right? Like I already tell them that all the time. But two, how much more can I now give up? Right? Like how much more can I give up that I didn't even know that I was holding on to? That's a really, really interesting thing that I've come to realize, and we'll be having a team meeting tomorrow and really talking about that. Okay. All right. Number 2 on proofing your business for likes, whatever comes your way, is the profit first business model. So if you're not familiar with this business model, basically you get paid X amount in the month. So guess what? I had a really high month of revenue. I can tell you exactly what it was in February. You guys know I always share my numbers with you because I believe in talking about wealth and mindset and what it takes to get there. $39,569. All right, $39,569 revenue for the month of February. So if we just round that up to really work with a great number for this second point of 40,000, all right, 15% of that is going to go into my tax account. All right, so that when taxes come along, all the tax money is there. 15% is going to go into operating expenses. All right, and those are the expenses to run the business, right? Those are team and tech is what I call that. All right, so everything, the website fees, the email program, my team, the 15% goes there. 15% goes into my profit account. And my profit account is like my secret stash. It's that place in my bank where just magically 15% gets transferred over of the 40,000. And this happens every month on autopilot. Okay. And so what I have left is a checkings account in my business that has a lump of money that does not include taxes, does not include operational expenses, and does not include profit. All right. And what's that do? One, it gives me a buffer, right? So I've got like a nice 30K buffer in my checkings account right now, my business checkings. And then I've got another 30 or 40K sitting over my profit account. Now, why is that important? In a time like this, when you go into surgery and things don't happen as expected, or you have to take time off work, or you want to take a sabbatical, or you want to go travel the world for a month or a year, or whatever it is, if you have money, you can keep your business running. Right? And so in my program, we talk about profit first business model, and we talk about why this is so important to proofing your business to all kinds of things that will come up. The other thing Profit First does is I'm never surprised by taxes. I owe $25,000, $30,000 a quarter in taxes. It is never a big deal to me because the money is automatically distributed to the tax bucket using the Profit First system. Okay, is this making sense to you all? I can't see likes or hearts or any of that, but if you can drop a comment, let me know if this is making sense to you. Let me know if you have any questions. Any of that, I am happy to answer anything for you. Okay, so the Profit First business model is saving my ass right now. All right, because I have not been able to do sales calls. I've been in the hospital. I have not been able to do much of anything except make sure that I show up and live. Like that's been my job for the past 12 days, right? Is to get well enough that I can sit here with you today and be in community and be in leadership. So there's a book, it's called Profit First. I don't love it. It's not the most enjoyable read, but guess what? You're all CEOs. Sometimes we got to do things that aren't so enjoyable. If you don't have an accountant team that understands Profit First, I'm going to suggest everyone right now goes to Amazon, support wherever, excuse me, support whoever you need to support, and go get the Profit First book by Mike Michalowicz. It explains all of this, okay? The other thing that Profit First does is it allows me to pay myself every single month, all right? Because I've already accounted for that in the operating expenses. So can you guys imagine, I want you to just imagine logging into your bank account. And right now you see several things, okay? I just did this morning to check in on things. I see 40,000 in my business checkings account. I see, we just paid taxes, I think. So there's not much in the tax account, right? There's just whatever 40% of, I can't do the math. And guys, my brain is foggy from so many meds and so much anesthesia, whatever 15% is of $40,000 is in the tax account. And then we've got this other amount sitting in the profit account. And then we've got the operational account. Do you know how good it is to know that even if I can't work the next couple months, my team's got it covered? My bank account's got it covered, right? That's the power of building a business that's smart. That's the power of working with somebody who understands numbers. That's the power of getting a good consultant and strategist on your side, like me, who can help you get these things in order and get your life aligned so that when the virus comes or when a surgery comes or when you want to do whatever it is you want to do, the money is there for you to do it. I am not stressing about money. Okay, but it's because I have this system in place. All right, now people always ask me the question, what happens if you have money left over? Like you pay your taxes and you get to the end of the year and you've got 10, 15, 20 grand because you overestimated, right? That would be awesome. What happens with the profit money? Okay, so then you get to give yourself a bonus. All right, and that's the fun part. We call those CEO bonuses. All right, and most of my bonus money is going into, some kind of a retirement planning. But I'm taking bonuses to buy things like my brand new iPhone. I took a bonus. I'm going to buy a computer. Hey, Alan, thanks for being here. I took a bonus for Hawaii. We've had to cancel Hawaii, but I took $15,000 from the profit account to pay for Hawaii. We were supposed to be going to Hawaii. So there's all kinds of things. If you can get the money and the flow right in your business and understand how to do this, it is so beneficial for you. Can everyone let me know, did that make sense? How did that land? Drop it in the comments for me. So we're covering the 5 things to proof your business for any of life's kind of hiccups or catastrophes, pandemics, whatever comes our way. All right, number 3 is you've got a business model that you love. That's the key. All right, you've got a business model that you love, and that business model is rooted in joy, and that business model is rooted in your zone of genius. Okay, I love teaching, I love training, I love working with a few clients one-on-one. All right, so my business model is that. My business model is a group program where I take a lot of steps, right, to be present in that program. I am a student in my own program. I think if you are in a program and the leader isn't there, or the leader isn't showing up when the leader isn't leading, and they're not a student of their own program, you should probably switch programs. All right, you should be working with people who are students of their own bodies of work, because that means the shit actually works. All right, so I do the teachings, I do the trainings. I also have other coaches that are helping me out, team, right? Thank goodness. And that allows us varying perspectives. We had a beautiful meeting today in the TCE program. All right. Part of my other business model is live events. And guess what? you guys are going to be the first to hear me say, I am not canceling live events. All right. Now, if they're in the next month or two, yeah, they were canceled. But outside of that, I'm going to keep moving forward with live events. I think they are a game changer for people to gather in community. I think they are an amazing opportunity for me to get to know my community better and for people to come and work together with each other. And when I can get my brain wrapped around this, I will be talking more about it. Right? So part of my business model always has been and will continue to be live events. All right, virus or not, all right, we got to get things under control. It's important. But after that, people are going to be craving live events. People are going to be wanting to be in community. People are going to want to be coming together and helping one another and showing up again and giving physical hugs and laughing together and breaking bread and having really great meals together. And so if you have kind of watched this online space over the last week, there are many experts who are saying, host no more live events. This is changing the face of business. We should never do live events again. We should all be doing Zoom from here on in the future. I disagree. All right, I am going to take a stand against that when I can wrap my brain around it. But for now, just know that live events have always been part of my business model, and they will always continue to be part of my business model. Immediately had to cancel a dinner in New York City for the founders dinner in April. But outside of that, we're moving forward with the live event strategy, right? So you have to have a business model that is varied in revenue streams. That is point 4 on our list that we're talking about today of proofing your business. The revenue streams need to be varied. All right. If I was only doing live events and I had, I don't know, 2 or 3 right now, I would be so screwed. Right? But that's not how I built my revenue stream. It's not how I built my business model, because I don't believe in like putting all your eggs in one basket. All right. If I only had one-on-one clients, which I did at one time, all right, and let's say you have 10 one-on-one clients or 8 or 5, whatever, it doesn't matter. They make up all of your income and something happens to the majority of them and they can't pay you, your revenue, it's not a sustainable business model, okay? So I keep one-on-one clients who I love dearly, all right? And I have a group program that I love dearly, and both of those really feed my soul. They bring me joy. They produce revenue, all right? They're great drivers of referrals. They're great ways to show up and be in community with each other, okay? Number 5, doing what brings you joy. All right, and this is like the thread that goes under all of it, right? This is the thread that says, wow. And you may be thinking right now, do I need to make a pivot? Is now the time to make a pivot? All right, in my business, I always want you to answer that question with, what would bring me more joy? Okay, what would bring me more joy? Because every pivot that I've made in this business over the years, all right, it's because I was looking for either more alignment with my lifestyle values or more alignment with my joy. And we're going to talk about those 2 things in a minute as I go through my journey of my business with you, because many people have said, can you please share, you came out of teaching and now you're doing this 6 years later, like how did you get there? So I'm going to share that journey and talk about the 2 guiding principles. Sorry guys, I haven't talked in weeks. And by the way, coughing with a C-section wound and 5 puncture wounds in your abdomen or sneezing, none of that shit is fun. Gotta hold your stomach and just like pray that it's not a bad coughing fit. Okay, so getting back to joy, getting in alignment, okay, with your lifestyle values, all right? So these are all the things we'll be talking more in depth about next week. mshannonhernandez.com/confident marketing workshop. I want you to register. I want you to grab your seat. These things are important. They matter. And it's why it's the foundation of what I teach. And it's why it's what I will continue to teach, because it's actually what fucking works in the online world of business, okay? Now, many people have tried Facebook ads, they've tried ClickFunnels, they've tried all this stuff. I am here, a breathing, living example, here talking to you now that you can build at least a $400,000 plus business without Facebook ads, without ClickFunnels, and without selling your soul. And that is what I stand for at the end of the day. Okay? So if you are new to the group, if you are looking at a pivot, if you are thinking about what's next for me, if you are like, wow, I'd really like to work with somebody that's been through this shit and understands it. I'd like to eventually have a team. I'd like to learn about profit first. I want to be seen as the confident expert. Please reach out to me, because we are ready to bring on some more brilliant coaches and consultants who are ready to do this their own way and build a business that matters to themselves and to their clients and makes the world a better place. Okay. All right. So let me go through the last part of this. All right. Which is this training, which is I'm going to share with you the iterations of my business model, and I'm going to talk about every pivot that I made and why I made that pivot. All right. And remember, I always pivot with the question, what would bring me more joy? What would bring me closer to my lifestyle values? All right. So I left teaching. I was an 8th grade teacher. I have a master's in biology, but I was teaching reading and writing, all right, to 8th grade students in inner city New York, and I left 60 years ago. And so that's the first iteration, right? As Shannon said, wow, Shannon's leaving teaching, now what? All right, and many of you may be there right now, thinking about, okay, now what am I going to do? Either a new business, or you want to leave with this kind of economic downturn that happens, and we need to find what is your zone of genius and build you a business around that. Okay, so I was teaching. We had a hurricane come through, weird, in New York City, closed down the schools. I sat at my table, I was journaling. That's one of my practices that keeps me grounded. And I went back on day 3 and I read what I had written on day 2. And there was a line there that stood out. And it said, I deserve to be happy again. And I kind of sat back and I said, wow, what is going on here that this is in my journal? You know, sometimes when you journal, you're writing so fast, you don't even know what you're writing. So I really sat with that. I cried. I thought about it. Teaching was like my thing, right? And what I realized is I had become a robot to a school system that no longer cared about its students or its teachers. And that did not make me happy. I was not able to show up and teach how I wanted to teach. I was always teaching for a test. I was always teaching for some score that needed to happen somewhere. I was always teaching, you know, not for the reasons that I wanted to teach and not how I wanted to teach and how I know that people learn best. And for those of you that have taken programs from me, you know, if you do the work, you get some damn good results, because I know how to develop curriculum and I know how to move people forward, and I am an expert teacher and trainer, right? So that was the first, wow, this isn't joyful. And I began making my exit plan. Now, what did I do? I didn't go into marketing strategy. I didn't know what the hell that was back then, to be honest. All right, so what did I do? Okay, Shannon, what are you good at? You're an 8th grade teacher. You teach reading, you teach writing. You teach people on a 2nd grade reading and writing level how to pass a test to get into high school. Can you guys imagine that for a minute? That was really my job at the heart of it. I had to teach people that were plopped into my classroom. I was a testing year, right? I had to teach them. They came with a 2nd, at most 3rd grade reading level, and I had to get them prepped for high school in 45 minutes a day. Imagine that. You better believe I was like a baller teacher. I had to figure that shit out. I had to make class fun. I had to come up with some innovative ways to be the only white person standing in the front of a room of beautiful colored faces of all different kinds and all different ethnicities looking at me. I had to get rid of those barriers, and I had to make learning fun. Reading and writing at that. They hated that shit. Okay? But we did it. I had the best test scores in the city year after year. Hands down, 100% of the time, test scores came out. People said, what is that lady doing? By the way, that's a whole nother Facebook Live. What I was doing is loving people, talking about what mattered to them, right? Just like we do here. Kicking them in the ass when they needed a kick in the ass. Telling them, come on, we got to do this. We got to play this game. It's a different game, but let's just play their game. Let's just get this 5-paragraph essay done, right? We're just going to play the game, right? So when I left, I said, okay, what I can do is I can help people write better for their business. And so I came out as a content coach, right? And I would help people with their blogs. Mainly, that's where my zone of genius was at the time. And so that was fun, but I wasn't teaching. I was more of an editor or proofreader, sometimes a little coaching. I wasn't really in their business so much. And so I was sitting behind my computer and I was just reviewing, and I was reading, and I was proofreading, and I was editing, and I was content editing. That was not joyful for me. And so pivot 2, I needed to make a pivot, and that pivot was into copywriter. I thought, okay, I'm really good at content coaching. Let me pivot, and now I can do copywriting for people. And I did. I wrote amazing copy for emails, and I wrote copy for campaigns, and I wrote copy for opt-ins for people's freebies, and I wrote copy for websites, and I had a lot of fun until I realized I was sitting behind the computer, not interacting and not teaching with anyone. And guess what I did? I said, this is not joyful for me. Am I making good money? Yes. But I'm on other people's deadlines, and I have no interaction with people, and I am not using my gift of teaching. So I made a pivot, and I pivoted to memoir coach. All right, so there I was back in the one-on-one model, and I was coaching people to write their memoirs, all right, because I had written the memoir, all right, and I knew what it took at that point, and I knew the energy it took, and I knew the tenacity it took, and all of that, having to relive the story. And so I started working with people to get their memoirs outlined, and then they'd send me chapters, and I would meet with them a couple times a month, and we would develop their book. And I said, wow, this is heavy work. Memoirs are heavy. It's people's life stories, usually kind of traumatic events, right? So at one point I was reading about childhood rape alongside cancer, alongside something else, and I was an empath. I am an empath. And I was like, oh, this is not going to work long term. I cannot do this work from behind this computer. I cannot do this work with this, reading this heavy stuff. This is affecting my own livelihood, right? So I made a pivot, and I became what was after memoir coach? Business coach. Everyone was coming to me for business. They were seeing my business grow. They were seeing my business evolve, right? And so my one-on-one practice filled very quickly. I had 12 clients within a few months. And I loved it. However, I was the business coach who also focused on content. So that was like my differentiator, is I understood the blogging and the content side of things. I didn't love all the energy of one-on-one work. I missed the teaching in the group setting. Do you guys get the theme here? All right, I missed the teaching in the group setting. And so I made a pivot, all right, after a very profitable year and a half in that business. I made probably $200,000 a year at that point, right? But I couldn't take on any more clients, and my income was tapped, my energy was tapped, my time was tapped. And I wanted to make more than $200,000 a year. That was my goal. And I wanted to be teaching. And so I said, wow, to me, what would work here is actually a group program that is different than any program online. Because I know what's sold online, it's a bunch of shit, all right, for the most part. There's a lot of just crappy marketing and selling programs online. And so I built the Confident Expert program. A huge pivot. And Susie, it was scary, right? Because I had a $200,000 business working with people on business model, on finding their joy, on understanding their finances. I had all that in a one-on-one, but I knew that I could not grow. I was at capacity, right? And so off I moved. I kept those clients. I took everything I was saying over and over and over and over again, and I systematized it, and I personalized it for my program. And now we have the Confident Expert program where we have 60 students enrolled and just rocking it out. All right, totally rocking it out. So that is the evolution of my business model. Notice every pivot was to either find more joy in the work or to get back to the lifestyle alignment goals, which were time, freedom, and teaching. More time, more freedom, more money, and more teaching. Okay? And so I hope this has been helpful for you to hear this evolution. Evolutions can be scary. Pivots can be scary. Times of pandemics can be scary. But what you have to do is you have to go here within, and you have to get quiet, and you have to sit with yourself and that journal, and you have to have those hard conversations with yourself. And you have to ask yourself, what would bring me more joy? What is my biggest gift to the world that I can lead with and serve with? And how can I do more of that? And I promise you, if you build a business from this point of joy and using your gifts to serve others, it will not fail. In times of viruses, in times of surgeries gone bad, in times of where we have to take care of parents, in times of where we want to take time off and take 3 months off and go on sabbatical, it will not fail you. And it's because you're in alignment. All right. I am so happy I was able to spend time with this community today. And I would love to know, for those of you that are still left here, and for those of you that will come back and catch the end, and for those of you coming in on the replay, what was your biggest takeaway today? What was your biggest takeaway from what you heard today that you can apply right now in your business, in your pivot, in your evolution? Thanks, Jessica. Thanks so much. Jessica, what was your biggest takeaway? I'd love to hear. Everyone else, I'd love to hear, even if you're coming back for the replay or to catch the ending. And also, I would love everyone to get registered for the workshop next week. If you've already taken it once, it doesn't matter. The content changes, the vibe changes, the energy changes. All right. And we've had people, they'll be through this the third time now. They keep coming back. They learn something new every time to grow their business. All right. So it's mshannonhernandez.com/confident marketing workshop. Confident Marketing WS. mshannonhernandez.com/confident marketing WS. Okay. Renee, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. All right. We'll get you squared away with profit first, and we will get money going into funnels. Not funnels, buckets, right, in your bank so that you have reserves at different times. All right. We'll take care of that. All right. You're in the program, so we'll get you squared away with that. Yes, building a business that builds resilience, so important. Okay, Jessica says, I think mostly around what truly brings me joy and my signature service and how to lead with that more. Awesome. You can never go wrong when you show up and serve from joy. That is the foundation of what we teach here. Okay. Structured your bank accounts. All right, Helena, we're going to meet this week. So will you put that on your notes to talk about? All right, we will talk about that this week for you. One of my new one-on-one clients. How lucky are you, right? How lucky. Shannon Evans, thank you so much for dropping the link throughout this broadcast. Yep, got to get back to Teens with Dreams. All right, allocating a higher percentage of my income to profit. Right now, it's at 1% for a brand new business, but 15% feels better. A great goal towards Q2. Yeah, Christina, so you're part of the Confident Expert program. Come to the Q2 marketing strategy planning. It's at the end of the month. You can check the calendar. All right, I'll make sure to make a note, and I'll make sure that we talk about profit first, allocation and numbers, because I think it's a good time for everyone to be thinking about that. And you're right, Mike Michalowicz in the very beginning just wants everyone getting in the habit of moving the money, right? But there comes a time where 1%, you don't need to do 1% anymore, right? So your body and your soul is calling you to do 10 or 15. Let's do it. We can always back off if we need to, but guess what? The money's there. So if we need it, we can pull it, right? But it's just moving it strategically in that way. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being here with me. This has been a beautiful welcome back. Sending you all so much love, so much energy, so much healing, so much good vibrations that we are proofing everything in our lives, right? We are proofing our mindset. We are proofing viruses. We are proofing surgeries. We are proofing bank accounts. We are proofing all the things that matter. All right, so that we can show up and do the work that we're being called to do and live the life that we want to be living. I'll see you all next week for workshop week. Adios.